we are recording this podcast a day after my guy Kyle Kuzma drops his first career trip dub. So, what was that like?
Exciting.
Yeah.
No, it was fun. I've been dying for a triple-double, honestly. My whole kind of career. I've been close a couple times. I mean, not really close, but to me, like, if I got, 6 assists, that's close enough. You know what I'm saying? So.
No, you were close early in the year, and
Yeah,
Kristaps tricked off that pass.
He tricked it off. I gave him another attempt, and he missed it. It rimmed out, but my boy TB looked out for me.
So what happens with that, with the triple-double? If you are at, one dime away and you know you got to get a teammate that, do they buy dinner? Is there a code in the league? What happens?
No, there's no code. Honestly, I don't think people really know when you have it. I mean, I do personally because I can tell you my stats while I'm playing in the game.
Really?
Rebound. Yeah, I'm just I don't know. That's how I'm wired. But one of the assistant coaches was like, "Yo, he's got one more assist. Don't mess it up." Mm-hmm. And we got the job done.
That's cool, man. Before that, obviously the trade deadline, everyone is kind of on pins and needles.
Yeah.
Can you describe kind of just what the last couple of weeks have been like? You've been very on the record talking about, there was some drama here. There was some issues. Guys had some things that they were going through. But when a deadline passes, what's that initial first game afterwards like?
A lot of times it's a lot of sign of relief. It feels like there's more air in the room. It feels like it's more livelihood because, guys have job security.
Right.
People sometimes forget, this is our job. This is how we make our livelihood. And, just imagine you and your performance, and at NBC Washington, and they were talking about trading you, you would be kind of like, oh, I don't want to go to NBC.
I'd be cussing people out, so I know what you guys are going through.
NBC Milwaukee, I'm just saying. So, it's the human aspect in it that, really gets guys. And, after the fact, when you have that job security, you don't have to move halfway through the year. You feel better. And, for us, we had a lot of drama, obviously. Our record reflects that and how we started it and how it kind of tailed off. But now we got a great group of guys in our locker room, guys that, are going to buy in and, want to play together and, want to just make something happen. We got 29 games left, and it's all about just having fun. Because if you're having fun, wins are going to come.
Right. KCP after the Brooklyn game, the day after, after the trade deadline, said, "quote unquote," you guys played with joy.
Yeah.
There was some joy out there.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel that while the game was going on in real time?
Yeah. I mean, you've seen it all over the place. TB scores. He dives for a loose ball. We got 4 guys running to go pick him up. Mm-hmm. Everybody's dapping up, clapping. AG gets an and one. Whole bench is going crazy. That's joy. That's fun. That's what you want to come to work to every day. And now we got that. So.
You said after the game, and Gil is just an unreal teammate.
Phenomenal person.
I've never. Well, there's another person that I've seen do this before. It was Jason Smith back in the day, where he would be the last guy on the bench, but he'd be the first one to run out during a timeout to encourage his teammates, high five. Mm-hmm. If things were going good, if it weren't bad, he was still there. And AG has the same kind of vibe.
Yes.
You can't make that up, can you?
No. He's one of my favorite teammates I've had in such a short amount of time. And just the way he carries himself, he's super professional. I think he's only 27. You would think he's 35.
Right.
Just
OG,
the way
right?
He's an OG, but he's a real righteous brother. You know what I'm saying? He's just real down to earth. Optimistic, lifting people up. He's great. He's great.
You said something about the trade deadline and how people can kind of be unnerving during that time. You were in LA.
Yeah.
Can you describe what it was like then, and why were you so chill this time around? Were you more chill with the deadline than you were probably in LA?
My first 3 years in NBA were real tough on me through the deadline, especially playing in that big market. My fourth year, I kind of got over that stuff. But, my first 3 years, it was really hard. You got the whole world wanting to trade you. You know what I mean? You got the whole world talking about you, analyzing you. it's I remember my second year, we were in Indiana right before the break. We got blew out by like 45 or something. We're at the free throw line, and it's like, they're going to trade you, and you're trying to play a basketball game, but like you have all this stuff, on the exterior going on. So, it's a challenging time for your mental health and your, you're just your mind state. But at some point, I kind of got over it, and it was just like, all that stuff doesn't matter. It matters, what's inside, your team, your team outside the court that you deal with every single day, whether it's your wife, your kids, your managers, whatever. And, you just keep it pushing because this is a business. So.
Who did you lean on, like, in those early years? I know we'll get to talking about your mom in a moment, though, but there had to be, like, some people in your circle where you could be vulnerable with.
No, I got a great circle. My manager, my mother, my assistant, financial people, everybody's family to me. So, for us, done a great job of just like, keeping things in house and being vulnerable, and for me, I don't have yes people around me, people that just, tell me what I want to hear, or, if I say something, it goes. Like, I got real people in my circle that, we deal with real life issues, and, that's important, and especially in people in my position and platform. And, it's easy to tell a millionaire or a good basketball player, oh yeah, let's do whatever. But that's not good for you. You gotta stay even. So.
I've told you several times, man. I think you are spreading your wings in an opportunity that is a golden opportunity for you. I want to go to a specific moment in which you were really able to showcase that. At Detroit, overtime, need a win, corner Kuz, clutch Kuz, closes the show. But you said two things in that press conference that had stood out to me to them. One, playing in front of your mom. I want to start there about just being able to do that in front of her. What was that like?
Oh, I mean, it's phenomenal. She's my number one fan. If you ever see her on Twitter, she's nuts. Like, she's just a great person. She's always helped me throughout the years, always been my number one supporter. When no one really believed me, or when no one believed I could get to this level. And, obviously going home to Detroit and playing in front of my home state. But, it's just cool because growing up, I was a Pistons fan. All we used to do was watch Pistons games. I remember, being in her bed watching the game Tayshaun Prince runs down Reggie, gets a block. Like, we loved the Pistons back then. So for me to play on that court and her in the stands, it's like a full circle moment. And, it was real special for my family. So.
Unfortunately, during that time, there was also a school shooting outside of the Detroit area. And in the pregame, you wore a shirt of support. But afterwards, you really opened up and just talked about gun violence in a way where you could forget Kyle Kuzma, the athlete. This was Kyle Kuzma, the human talking about that situation. Why did you feel like that was kind of important in that platform to speak your mind?
I just feel like, a lot of people want to hear what I want to say at the end of the day. I have a platform, and I feel like, it's my duty to do things like that, when they make sense, when I'm knowledgeable on them. I don't believe in just talking on random things I don't know about. So, it was a serious topic at the time. Obviously, my home state, children losing their lives, parents losing their kids, dropping them off at school or making them breakfast and never seeing them again. Like, you can just imagine how that feels. So, I just thought it was really important at the time. So,
back to your mom, you did something extremely special, buying her a home, and I can only imagine what her reaction was like. But give me the backstory on how you did it and kind of just the intel and presenting her the keys.
Yeah, over my first couple years in NBA, I was a late round draft pick, so didn't really have that much money. I had a lot of money, but when you look at it in taxes and you really understand money, it's like you ain't really got it like that. So, rented a couple years for her condos, nice condos, got her out of the places that we used to live in, and finally got my contract, and now's the time to just have her be cool now. You know what I mean? So bought a huge spot, 5 acres of land in Michigan. That's a lot. Out in the country, it's perfect. Got a pole barn. Building my grandmother a house on the acres too. So that's gonna take some time, but it's just real special for my family. A place that when I go back home, I can stay. There's a pool. Dogs can run around. Mom's happy. That's what it's about. So
we always think about the sacrifices that mom make, especially single parent moms. I can relate to that.
Yeah.
And did you hand her the keys? How did you surprise her with all this?
Well, she kind of already knew. It wasn't necessarily a surprise.
Okay.
We were kind of in the process of trying to figure out, okay, where do you want to live? I got the capital to do it now, so let's figure it out. And picked a couple houses. I let her go see the houses, see if she wanted to like it or not. And she was real picky. Mm-hmm. Beggars can't be choosers. I'm just crazy. It's like, but she wanted a pool and she wanted space, and that's what we got. So
that's cool, man. She was an athlete, right?
Yeah. She was a hell of a track and field star. She did shot put and discus.
Okay.
She's like top 10 in the country in her position, before she had me. So, I cut her athletic dreams short, but I mean, it paid off. So,
is she a hooper? Did she ever hoop?
She hooped too. Yeah, she hooped too. She was a center. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, is she taking credit for your athleticism?
I mean, she actually knows a lot about the game, really. Like, she honestly does.
Like you said, I have peeped her out on kind of social media.
Yeah, she really no, she ain't not afraid. Yeah, she's not afraid. That's where I get it from. Yeah. But she knows a lot about the game. She's always criticizing me. Biggest supporter. She texts me before every game, watches every game. Sometimes she don't really give me tips too much no more. Because I'm like, yo, mom, I got it, please. Yeah. But no, she knows my game, and she knows, when I'm playing with joy and playing happy. So
tell me about joy and happiness on the court. What does it look like? What does it feel like when Kyle Kuzma's in that space?
I'm just in my own world. I'm encouraging people. I'm laughing, I'm smiling. I'm talking to the other team. I'm talking to fans. I'm just in my own world, and I'm just trying to bring that enthusiasm, and that's the most important thing to winning. You know what I mean? Because it's tough. You can win games and hate each other. We've done that a couple times, right. But at the same time, it just doesn't hit the same. The sleep is better. When everybody's joyful, you coming into work and it's happy, it's fun, and you're trying to build that culture in Aurora. It's important.
So we talked about the shot in Detroit. I thought some of your best joy was that let's go home in Cleveland too.
Yep.
But you also hit one against Chicago where we thought it was over, and then that damn DeMar DeRozan.
I got a few this year.
So you've had moments here where it's closeout time.
Yeah.
How do you do that? How do you get your mind into that? Because not everybody wants that opportunity, will take that opportunity and live with the results.
I wish I had that mentality all 4 quarters. I always hit a shot like that, but when you look at my score sheet, and it's like I'm 2 for 7. I'm like, bro, just do this the whole game. You'd be 7 for 7. But I think just growing up as a kid in my driveway, I think that
the typical backyard
3, 2, 1. Yeah. Just doing that over and over and over since I was 7 years old, and then I feel like those moments, started that, you know what I mean? And, practicing it, and obviously loving Kobe and loving clutch performers and loving the sound of the crowd roar, or when air leaves the arena at home like Cleveland, those are like what I live for. Like it's fun. It's super fun.
You were doing the wave too, like everybody have a good night, drive home safe.
Drive home safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get home safe. It's snowy that day. You know what I'm saying?
So tell me, have you ever dreamt of a moment like that where you haven't done it yet, but there's that moment where you have visualized it?
All the time.
What is it? What does it look like for Kyle Kuzma to be like, this is like the perfect moment to end the game?
It's just automatic. It's just like, how the game is going, right? Plays come, somebody drives, and you see it happen before it even happened. Like, you see in your head, okay, Neto, he's driving, and you see your defenders go, but you just see an opening, and it's like, okay, the ball is coming. You see it all, and then it's like, oh, time to go. Psh. And it just goes in. It's like, I've seen that like 100 times already, and then, it happened that one time, but I've been there.
Yeah. Do you hear? Let's go to Detroit first. So when you hit that shot, do you hear anything? Does everything kind of focus in? Do you have tunnel vision when the swing happens?
You have tunnel vision, but you try to block out everything else. Like, let's say the swing happens, and you'll hear the crowd, because the crowd they know you're about to shoot.
Yeah.
And you'll hear the crowd like, and then that's the last thing you kind of hear, and then you just fire, and then it's like, and then it's just like, bye.
So the one against Chicago here, where we're like, oh shit, he did it again. What did you hear then? Because there was still some time left though, but that was still another one of those. Kuz
Same
did
thing.
It again.
It was same thing. Well, it's different at home games, because it's like, okay, if that comes, then you hear but it's like, you'll hear the Kuz start going. Mm-hmm. So like, that's a whole different feeling in itself, because now it's like, okay, everybody counting on me, I got to hit this.
Right.
And it goes in, the crowd goes crazy, and then you're like, whew, So, it's different realms, home and away. So.
But what's cool about that, though, is you've kind of done it enough here already where it's almost expected now. Games close the show, Kuz. Yeah. How do you live with the result if it doesn't happen? Same way as if you hit it? Because are you still
because at the end of the day, it's a make or miss league. You know what I mean? And you can't dwell over a miss. At the end of the day, I got the shot I wanted. I am my biggest, critic. If I miss a shot, yeah, I'm down on myself at that moment. But after the game, an hour later, it's over. Who cares? At the end of the day, you got 82 more. Obviously it's a little different if it's playoffs. You might harp on it more, but at the same time, like, let's go lay down, drink some wine, call it a night. There's no way to stress over it.
Let me ask you about your two newest teammates, and what do you know about them intel-wise? We'll start with Porzingis first. What do you know?
Man, just playing against him over the years. I had the opportunity. I've been in the league long enough when he was in New York, and then seeing him in Dallas. It's two different players. And that's partly because of how Rick Carlisle used him. And a lot of times, if you looked at his New York, tape, dude was killer. But that's because you're playing through him. You're playing him in the post. You let him get touches. You let him feel involved. Mm-hmm. And I feel like when he was in Dallas, he wasn't necessarily a part of things. And, that's no disrespect. Obviously Luka and, phenomenal player. But at the end of the day, every player in the league wants to feel a part of something. And I feel like with him coming here, I know he's got a lot to prove. And I know he wants to feel a part of something. And as long as he's healthy, I mean, he's 20 and 10 for you all day. So,
this is positionless basketball. I get it. Mm-hmm. I'm old school. I still believe you need a point guard to rock out and get people where they need to go. But everybody else is kind of like interchangeable. If he plays, are you a 4? Are you a 3? Are you?
I play whatever, really. Okay. I played 5 this year. I've initiated offense. I've been the shooter off a couple screens. I've been the screener. I've been the roller. I've been the pick and roll ball. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. I think that's one thing, I really learned from, Bron is, you got to do it all. You got to pass, shoot. You got to defend. You got to rebound, get guys involved. You got to encourage. You got to do everything. Right. So, for me, I'm just a basketball player. It's really going to be interesting when KP gets here because, when he plays at 5, a lot of times teams will put the 4 men on him. So they do that, and I got a 5 on me. I mean,
fill in the blank. The facial expression says it all. That's a gift. That's
a gift.
I want to ask you about Ish Smith. Ish was here for 2 years. We've kind of been accustomed in this town for the last 11 years to have our point guards push pace, as you know, pace. John, Russ, Ish, these guys. How does a point guard like that kind of change how you get down?
I mean, it just enhances me. I love playing with pace. You know, you see it all the time. I'm trying to get the rebound every time I'm trying to go. You know, and you know, if I'm not getting a rebound, somebody else gets it, they're gonna give it to Ish. Well, I'm running, and Ish is gonna throw it up, or he's gonna be running with me. Like, it's gonna be a track meet, and you know, he's a fine point guard. You know, he's a veteran PG. He's someone that's been in the league for a long time. Someone that's, you know, traditional, pass first, gets down the hole, gets to the paint, and, you know, he kicks out. He just knows to play basketball. So anytime you get vets around that know how to play the game and play the right way, you're good.
We've played over 50 games. My last question to you is, Kyle, have you kind of felt the vibe of DC yet?
Slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. You know, I've been out doing things, been to dinners, been to the White House, been to the monuments, been to museums. So I'm getting a feel for it, slowly but surely, because a lot of times I'm a homebody. I like to be in the house. I got dogs. I like to get my rest. But, you know, I've always admired D.C. as, like, you know, one of the better cities in America. There's so much to do. It's an international city, great food, so many things. So, you know, it's dope so far.
My man, appreciate you.
Yes, sir.